Hello and welcome back to Learn on 10. This is episode 4 and my name is Declan Doyle and we're going to be discussing how to build a fat loss meal plan from scratch using free resources, which is always cool to have handy. So let's get into it. So I've created a spreadsheet for you. So all you need to do to grab this is put your email in the description box below this video and you'll get an option to make a copy of this. And when you open it up, you'll see two tabs. You'll see the resources tab at the bottom here and you'll see a meal plan tab here. So this is just all blank at the moment because we haven't filled any of it in because it will be unique to you. Okay, so let's get to it. So in order to get fat loss going, we've got to create a calorie deficit, guys. That is the number one variable that needs to happen to get fat loss going. So you've got a free resource here called the Weight Planner. And this is created by really good fat loss researcher and number of studies he's put out, Dr. Kevin Hall. And all it is, I should say, is it's going to work out your calorie needs based on your individual stats, right? So weight, height, sex, activity status, and so on. But it's going to do it really quickly because all the formulas are in the back end area, I should say. Okay, so all you got to do is change the units to your preference at the top, whether it's in pounds or kilos. So I know my variables in kilos, so I'm just going to use myself as an example. So I'm 78 kilos now, I'm male, and you would just complete all this, put in your height, and then it's going to ask you to estimate your physical activity status. Now this is important because if you're doing any physical activity, movement during the day, going to the gym, obviously that's going to expend calories, so that should be factored into your total calorie needs. Okay, so you can estimate here by answering a few questions. Okay, so it's asking here, the first question, describe your activity basically at school or work. Okay, so my activity during the working day is very light. I'm generally sitting down or standing up. And I do get out for a few walks, but it depends on the workload. So I'm just going to click very light. And then it's asked me, okay, what's my physical activity during the week? So do I do any extra activity? Okay, gym, sports, stuff like that. No, I do a lot of that stuff. So I am active. I'm going to the gym about 3 or 4 times a week. And then I take the bike out a weekend. So I am an active individual. I'm just going to click save. Okay. Now, that gives me a physical activity level of 1.7, but yours will be unique to you, okay? Click the next step, and then it's asking you for a goal weight. So let's say I wanted to lose 8 kilos. I'd put in that number, and you can pick to reach that number in a number of days or months, okay? So I'm just going to pick months. Let's say I wanted to get there. Let's say I want to average kind of 1 to 2 pounds a week over a 12-week period or so. That would bring me to the end of March, okay, and I just picked the end of March, so about 3 months or so. And in the next step, it's asking me, am I going to add any extra activity as of now? So am I going to do more exercise? Am I going to add more walking, etc.? No, I am not, so I'm going to leave that at 0. But if you were, you would just add what you plan to add. So you're going to add, or you're going to take away any activities. So you're going to add light walking, you're going to add running, gym stuff, anything, stuff like that. What you're going to add and for how long. No, I'm not going to add anything. But if you were, you would just add that and save it here. Okay. So I'm just going to cancel because I'm not adding anything. And then the next step is going to spit out my calorie needs, basically, of where I need to be averaging eating. Okay. So as you can see, it says to reach your goal of 70 kilos in 74 days or so, I'd want to be eating about 1,959. So if we just round that off to 2,000, that gives us a personal need of 2,000 calories. Okay. Now within that 2,000 calories, it's very important if you are starting fat loss process that you get sufficient protein intake in there, okay, because you want to make sure you're not losing loads of lean muscle in the process if you have much to lose anyway. And obviously lots of variables around protein, but protein is the number one nutrient that's very important to keep hunger at bay, so really important for that. So you basically want to give yourself all the tools to actually be in your arsenal and protein is certainly a helpful tool to make sure you got a good intake of that. Now, you could work out your protein intake easy enough, okay, by just using this variable here, 2000, and a few stats from yourself, but we're going to use free resources because that's the purpose of this video. So I like the website Examine because it's run by independent scientists, and they've created a free protein calculator here, and you basically just need to complete your same stats, basically your weight, male or female, and put in your weight now. And it's then it's going to ask you your goal, whether you're healthy weight or you're not a healthy weight. I am active, I'm a healthy weight at the moment, but let's say I wanted fat loss. I would click that box, and as you can see, it's saying I should be getting at least 125 grams of protein a day. However, it won't hurt if I go up to 187. Okay, so certainly higher protein intakes in the research are certainly useful for people who are part of that fat loss goal, if you like. Okay, so it's not going to hurt to go that high. So let's pick something in the middle, a nice sweet spot in the middle. Let's say 150 grams of protein. Okay, so now I know to get started, certainly in the right ballpark of fat loss, I'd want to be eating about 2,000 calories a day and eating about 150 grams of protein. Okay, now what you could do is just eat that amount and just try and get meals involved and foods involved that meet those targets. But if you wanted to build a meal plan for yourself based on those two targets, there's another website here in cell number 3 here called Eat This Much, and I really like this one because it factors in your diet preferences as well. Okay, so whether you want to go paleo, train, vegan, vegetarian, whatever it may be. Okay, so 2,000 calories is my total calories there. Now you can change the meal frequency if you like. You want to eat that over 3 or 4 meals or 6. It won't matter for fat loss anyway. But we need to factor in our protein targets, right? Now, once protein is involved or in there, it doesn't really matter how you split carbs and fat. Now, unless you're in an athlete mode and you have to be careful about your carb intake and that. But this is based on the general world, shall we say. Now, what I can do here is just make sure my protein targets are at 150 grams. So I'm just going to edit targets, scroll down the bottom, and bring my protein right up to 150, or thereabouts anyway, and then bring that down to 150 as well. And now my protein targets are set at 150 grams a day. And what this will do is this will build a meal plan based on those targets, 2,000 calories and 150 grams a day. Okay, so as you can see, and I hit generate, and you'll see it's changed to 1,977, and it's got 150 grams of protein here. Okay, and you'll just see the meals, right? So it's giving you examples of meals, and when you open up each meal, it actually gives you the ingredients and shows you how to make it. Now, if you wanted to, you could go to your meal plan that I built for you, click the meal plan tab, and copy and paste your ingredients, right? So you could put your meal in here, you could put your protein, whether it had veg and carb, and you could put the total calories amount in here. And you could just start building out examples of meals for you. Okay, so breakfast ideas, lunch ideas, etc. Okay. Also, if you wanted to save the link, let's say we were saving the link here, right? Let's say we wanted to copy that link that we just seen on oatmeal, right? So what we could do is go to that meal planner again, and this link here, this little pin here, if you like, copy the URL. Okay, and when I copy the URL, I go back to my fat loss meal plan. If I click that cell on breakfast, insert link, and I can copy the URL I just saved, which is kind of cool. And then when I hover over that each time, as you can see, it'll save that meal for me, and I can just click straight through that and actually see what that meal is. And you would just do that for all your meals. You go breakfast, a couple of ideas for breakfast, a couple of ideas for lunch, get your total calories, your protein intake, and then once you have a few ideas of each, go over here and build out a personal meal plan for yourself. So whether you want to eat breakfast or not, or what meals you want to have during the week, basically build out those meals. Okay, and I've even created an option for you to put those ingredients in here if you want to create a unique shopping list for yourself. Okay, so pretty easy, 20 minutes or so, and you'd be building out your fat loss meal plan, and you'd certainly be in a good place starting to put things in place for the new year. And pretty simple to do using these free tools that I've created for you. Okay, so that's all we've got for today, guys. We're just over that 10-minute mark, so this is Learning 10. So I'm going to close it out here. If you've got any questions on these, by all means, pop your questions over, or pop your questions in the comments, and I will aim to answer them. But I hope that was useful, and I'll be back soon with another episode of Learning 10. Take care.